Hello once more and welcome back to my channel. Knowing closeness is more than merely physical contact. It involves stepping into the more profound emotional and psychological characteristics of your spouse, and in this video we'll examine 4 important locations that women frequently desire for their partners to touch, demonstrating how these motions can improve comprehension and connection. We will also explore the subscriptically of these preferences are based on female psychology, Stoicism, and Guidolins. To assist you in creating a more deep connection in your relationships, the importance of maintaining eye contact, click the subscribe button if you're interested and prepared to step up your handling connections and unleash the potential of being stoic in your life. Means that you're in the appropriate location. Each video provides you with one more step toward mental mastery and making deeper, more significant connections. Let's get going. Okay, this is the harsh reality of closeness is more than simply physical aspect of it, further into the power of touch and attraction, the domain of trust, then that relationship and comprehension. You might believe that touch is the contact of everything. However, there's a most men overlook this secret weapon, the value of making eye contact. Yes, I'm discussing the type of eye contact. It breaks down and cuts through the noise walls and fosters a closer bond more than you ever thought. You've most likely felt it prior to those instances where you look her in eyes and the entire world disappears. It's not about looking at her clumsily like some creep. This isn't the same. This is about those little selling words are unnecessary and your eyes are performing. It's that unstated amidal, the speech connection that speaks louder than words. When your eyes meet theirs, you could say it resembles a surge in an electric current. That's the power of the eye between you two. Contact has the ability to be powerful due to it sits honest and raw, and it can help you nearer than you ever imagined. However, the worst part is that eye contact isn't only about arousing desire, but it's also about establishing trust. When you investigate her eyes and she notices that you're completely present, at which point the genuine relationship occurs. You'll realize you're not merely not only physically but also emotionally, and it's also about psychological. Listen tame to her, that she cares, that you're not preoccupied or you're with her, but you're immersed in your own thoughts in that instant, which is really important. And don't just believe me when I say that science supports the releases triggered by this up contact of oxytocin, the damage that causes fostering love and trust, so that each when you meet her gaze, you're literally fortifying your relationship. It goes beyond simply touching the appropriate places. The goal is to evoke an emotional rooted connection. This is when the Stoic way of thinking is, you said to play. The Stoics were more than first place subtle but powerful, just regulating their surroundings. They realize that true power comes from controlling how you react to the outside world, and in closeness that entails being totally available when you gaze, either with goal, when you're not preoccupied with, you're not considering future afterward. When you're alone with her, at that point you assume a command of the at that point you demonstrate to her that you're not merely a man seeking a fast fix, but someone who appreciates the stronger bond. So the next time, you don't be afraid to make eye contact with her. Keep her look intently and firmly. Give her the impression that you're there. When you do, let her know that you appreciate her. You're not merely generating desire or building a relationship of trust, relationship that transcends the surface, at which point things truly begin to alter. Eye contact is more than just a technique. That power in the less visible areas, it's revolutionary, because on say you begin, once you've mastered it, you'll see the difference. I assure you, this power is a talent that transcends class and essence, will transform how you relate to others, how you cultivate connections, and your appearance in the globe. And after you discover how to utilize that power, and you'll be unstoppable. Okay, let's discuss. The power is something that most men overlook of contacting the less visible areas. If you believe it's all about the typical locations, the locations that everyone discussed, or relishing out on an entirely new degree of connection, allow me to give you a hefty blow. The truth is that a woman's body has spots that triggers when proper responses that are far more intense than you may believe. That the secret locations are where, once you figure this out, the magic happens out. You'll be able to establish a stronger matter miss. Just as much if you wish to create that intense connection, you must select your words with caring, no nonsense, no flattery. Just because a genuine flattering remarks coming from allocation of genuineness, tell her how beautiful she appears, certain, but make it personal, what you adore about her and what motivates you. You're crazy, but it's not only about gratitude is always important, and anticipation is fourth place, the ultimate touch point, crucial. Passives how the hinting or tantalizing off what comes next might cause her to cling to every word is an effective strategy. That you're painting a picture, not just talking image in her head, gradually constructing that stress that she is waiting for. Discover what comes next, and it begins. Let's discuss pace slowly now that we have you occasionally talk as though you're revealing a secret to her. Alani, it strikes that gentle personal tone distinct, but don't be scared to shanji up to become little stiffer every shift. In be bolder but keep it warm. You may keep her by using your voice completely absorb, sharpening her senses in ways that words cannot adequately describe. It's the subtle reasons why that is important. Combineth that gently touching her, perhaps stroking her neck, or you've put your hand on her back. This is the cold truth with passion, something you must comprehend. Soft strokes that have a greater impact than the great gestures can be disarmed with words. Pleasant butthose, peaceful private, the whispers that give her feelings. Actually sincerely hoped she would recall those share members certain moments much longer. The cold truth then, this isn't about playing anathingals. This game is about being authentic and deliberate, and this is where the Stoics and Stoic philosophy believed in having control over your ideas, your behavior, and the influence that you have in other people. Yet it's not simply about regulating your speech, regarding presenting it with intention. Your words have the power to create chaos or tranquility, relationship or separation. You own the ability to produce something tangible, but it demands master of bandedly present your feelings and use that authority to establish a sincere purport so that the following time don't rely solely on her, since you're close to her. Physical contact communicates with apropos, using your voice to convey message and establish the tone to arouse desire, since in the end ultimately it don't matter how much you claim that it's about your words and your mannerisms show her how you feel, and that's nobody can ignore power or how to read her reactions. Right quickly, I have a question for you before we resume. Each method do you prefer for creating a deep relationship with a woman? I will adore for you to leave a remark below and provide your ideas, or if you're unsure about what to simply type, and this link will be established in the brief moment. Paying attention to your viewpoint makes these discussions that are far more significant, and it makes this video even more accessible. Men woke, I'll find it useful, therefore go please take a moment to leave a comment. I'm eager to read your next words. Let's sweetie to continue, since the finest part is still in front of number 4. Sweetie, touches that are more expressive than words. Speaking about your hands, they're not only to be touched, they are there to forget about force or haste when communicating. The strength is in the intention and accuracy. Imagine that quality is more important than the tidy. Each touch is like a brush stroke on her body and the canvas, a wreath masterpiece. Gradual trace of a gentle graze along her back, down her stomach, or a gentle pat on her thighs can establish a stronger bond beyond merely physical. The key is to explore you with touch diversity, glide of temperature and pressure, speed, running your fingers over her flesh or applying pressure her back's tiny. These small actions reveal a lot about her. A gentle pat on the neck is your golden zone. A stroke around her neck or behind it, waves of sensation from the collarbone. She won't anticipate the major shock and intimacy you're demonstrating to her. Distinct, it goes beyond what you accomplish, how you do it. A slow methodical stroke when paired with the appropriate pressure produces the timming off. A remarkable experience is everything slow methodical strokelets. Now introduce the Stoics instructed to behave purposefully and be totally not responding rashly. In themement, your touch need to convey Stoic approach to physical to attitude, purposeful, don't and deliberate to control. Brush it's there, so go slowly and let your hand will talk. Once you're completely, the gentle touch will have greater significance as opposed to thighs. You is, will you do anything grand? Accepted. It's number 5 and the real power. Okay, behind pleasure, if you're the kind of man who is still hairy, we're not here to settle for mediocrity, since you're not content with the surface level of enjoyment. Beyond the next, you're seeking depth and insight, not cheap thrills, and genuine bonding, which is what isolates the mind's actual power in intimacy between men and boys. So let's examine the true strength in it. Most men believe that pleasure is everything regarding the body, the contact moves, but allow me to provide a bit of information. Ruthless intellect weighs the most weight. The most powerful thing in your mind is organ that interprets each and every word to become an expert off skill. But if you're not participating, you're missing the point. Desire, in her view, it all starts with pleasure and fulfillment. In the mind, your brain makes your hidden weapon. Final decision, what thrills her, what feels good, what makes her want to stop more. If you want to concentrate tessily on her physique, elevate this, you must get in touch with first in her mind. And here's the catch, is the starting point for serious power conversitanies. I did say it well. Your hidden weapon is talk prior to anything physical appealing. Take the time to learn about their preferences, what turns her on and what makes her tick. Inquire about her dreams and establish a secure environment where she can express herself. The more at ease you make her feel with you in mind, it's simpler to physically unlock her. You're not merely seeking sex that you want to produce an encounter that energizes Every aspect offer in their mental health. This Wisconsin you games have the power to modify the game as she messages that irresistible before you lay a hand on her final thoughts. An outro gives away clues about what's going to await at arrival is among the most strong pull that makes you crave her to feel tense and yearn for the previous moment. It even starts let me share some knowledge he stated who looks outside of dreams deepest pleasure is evoked in seditos not originate from flashy moves. That psychological and emote relationship you establish here is where genuine now and your power her on a personal level gives you power deeper level. Now remember that pleasure is not only mental, it is also physical, reacts to visual stimuli. Other Thanduk and sound effects softly set the scene, lighting that fits the mood. Thus particulars aren't mere details, they interact. Everything feels more alive because of our senses closer and more genuine, and this is where Stoicism is applied. The Stoics didn't just teach self-control over your abilities and incapable of controlling hat, they thought about presence and comprehension when you're there with your spouse on an emotional level, and you have mental power over the experience, which makes it strong and satisfying on all levels. So keep that in mind when you establish a mental connection with her. Recognize her desires before making contact. You're not merely making the occasion better her when you get proficient, you're changing it. The art of mental and physical relationships. You're not merely having your care resulting in an amazing experience. Therefore this is your incentive. Allow me to drop something also little reminder vital here, brother, never undervalue the mental power. In relation to enjoyment, the reality is the mental and emotional bond that deepens understanding the true significance of anything else. For sure it's nice talk, know all the right moves, but it all depends on how you make her feel. The conclusionary thing is the game on its heat aphrodisiac. Let's bring everything together now. Intimacy between two people is more than just what you're in conclusion. Being aware of the important areas where she desires to feel to good. Intimacy is more than simply physical attraction. Secret locations are where once you figure this out, the magic happens out. You'll be able to establish a stronger bond. It surpasses even the most basic. I'm being gently touched at little of a faint graze down the nape of her back, of her throat, or a light pressure on the within her wrist, which is unexpected, but these locations are quite delicate, and when you touch him purposefully rather than haphazardly, you're messaging her in a manner similar to talking with your hands. Isn't about only following the procedures, it's about giving each act in purpose, like a quiet dialogue her body recognizes. Now consider areas such as her neck, shoulders, or knees, or even her earlobes may appear tiny or unimportant, but believe me when I say that they possess enormous potential. These can place the emotional trigger keys, and how you touch them occasionally with a gentle touch works far better than going Allen with a solid plaything. Softness and pressure, and observe how your body reacts in unexpected ways. However, this is where them really stand. Connection at finding hidden spots is more than just making showing her physical pleasure is the goal, that you are there and that you are concerned enough to examine what truly brings her joy. These locations have a direct connection to her mechanism of pleasure, and when you obtain it, yes, you'll ignite something more the exterior, and once you finish, her body will be grateful. No words are needed. It's not about playing games, let's face it, this is about making a deeper connection level. It involves looking past appearance level encounters that the majority of men are involved in and genuine concurring with her in some manner that fosters closeness and have faith. When you investigate these surprising spots, you not merely stroking her body or making her feel something, and that's what distinguishes those who survive from individuals who leave a lasting impression. And here's another strong hairstyle tip for her: may seem easy, but managing your playing with her hair with her fingers or simply giving it a light pat can feel extra mellow personal. A tiny act such as this extends beyond the physical realm, conveys concern, affection, connection, which is calming, consoling, and demonstrates to your attention and presence into her. Therefore, let's go on to the next point. Slow down. Don't just leave when you're near her. Slow down and take your time at the typical locations. Time and investigate these less evident areas. Observe how her body is responds, and when you experience mastery the skill of speaking and third of delivery, lean into the response. It's about hurrying or checking boxes, ensuring that every touch matters. Believe me when you begin to take note of these subtle areas, you will establish a degree of intimacy that she will never forget. So let's bring in some of the Stoics' knowledge. Possess the ability to be present and concentrating in the present and exercising control what you can. In third place, the secret spot. Most men ignore the closeness space that entails being totally present rather than hurrying through the physical examination to reach the ultimate objective is to comprehend the effect of each touch at every instant. Osses well as your reaction to it when you do, you'll see that the most profound force is not used to create connections. They are created by being patient and present and comprehension, so that the next time you'll keep in mind that it's not simply about the obvious locations. Focus on the small topics that nobody discusses and the ability to be totally present with, since doing so will result in the development of a relationship that's more than just physical. Real, your words passionate and unforgettable. Okay, so let's be honest for a moment and discover how to master the art of number 3 of your words, and more crucially how. As you mentioned, most men don't notice this, but believe me, it's a game share. The key is actual contact. It's crucial, but what really matters is your voice weapon, the force of spoken words. You might ignite a spark with intention that you didn't even knew it was feasible to consider this. Most men don't even think about the ear. However, I must say that it's absurdly appropriate. Words were whispered at delicate. The appropriate tone at the proper moment can have a significant impact on many males engrossed in evidence and depending on appearance or what should function. But I can assure you that intent and tone are what really make you stand out. Words are instruments, and when utilized they are deadly whispers, so use them carefully while you're near her, knitting in her ear.